Okay, welcome back in. I'm going to see if I can get caught up on some hockey. I'm not going to bother showing all the videos and clips because I'm very much aware that commercials do affect it. And had I been up to date, I probably would have had more time. Otherwise, this would be like a 30, 40-minute video reviewing 3 days worth of games. So on Sunday, February 23rd, I believe there were 9 games. The early game took place in Washington as the Capitals played host to the Edmonton Oilers. So Leon Draisaitl would score, getting his leading, league leading 42nd goal of the season on the power play from Nugent Hopkins and Connor McDavid. 1 minute and 42 seconds of the opening frame. Tom Wilson would score, tying the game up at 1, getting his 26th of the year, assisted by Pierre-Luc Dubois and Matt Roy. 17:15 of the first. With just under 30 seconds to go, the Capitals would grab the lead, courtesy of Jacob Chichurkin, getting his 17th goal of the season on the power play from Tom Wilson and Dylan Strome. In the second period, Alex Ovechkin, who's still chasing Wayne Gretzky's record, will get his 27th goal of the year, assisted by Strome and Protas, 8:53 of the middle frame. He would score again with 1 minute and 21 seconds to go. On the power play, his 28th of the season, second of the game, assisted by Chichurkin, increasing the lead to 4-1. Not too long after that, just 15 seconds remaining, Connor McMichael would get his 20th goal of the year from John Carlson and Protas. With 15 seconds to go, the Capitals had a 5-1 lead heading into the third. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would try to cut into the lead, giving the Oilers their second goal of the game. For Nuge, that would be his 16th of the season, assisted by Arvidsson and Zach Hyman. 6:35 of the third. Dylan Strome would increase the lead back to 4, getting his 18th of the season from Protas and Carlson. 10:38 of the third period, increasing the lead to 6-2. Jeff Skinner would cut the lead in half, getting his 11th of the season unassisted. 15:05 of the third. The Oilers would pull their goalie with over 3 minutes to go. Unfortunately, it did not work out, as Ovechkin would get the empty net goal, his 29th of the season, and a hat trick as well. This is like a base or a football score. 7-3 would be the final from Washington. All right, the next matchup I'll take a look at took place in Pittsburgh as we had the Penguins playing host to the New York Rangers. Evgeny Malkin would kick things off, getting his 10th goal of the season from Glass and Heinen. 12:53 of the first period. Will Cooley would score with 48 seconds to go, getting his 15th of the season on the power play, assisted by Miller and Smith. In the second period, with exactly 3 minutes to go on the clock, JT Miller would put the Rangers on top, getting his 12th goal of the year, assisted by Fox and Panarin. Just 57 seconds into the third period, Ryan Shea would get his first goal of the year from Malkin and Carlson. 57 seconds of the third period. He would score again 3 minutes after that, getting his second goal of the season from Crosby and Kevin Hayes, putting the Penguins up on top 3-2. Jimmy Vesey would tie the game up at 3, 4:21 of the third, getting his 4th of the year from Trocheck and Ryan Lindgren. Adam Fox would put the Rangers back on top 4-3, getting his 5th goal of the season from Smith and Zibanejad. JT Miller would score again on the empty net with 7 seconds to go, getting his second goal of the game, his 13th of the year, assisted by Vesey and Ryan Lindgren. So the Rangers would win 5-3, despite blowing 2 leads in this game. All right, now we're off to Detroit as the Red Wings played host to the Anaheim Ducks. Marco Kasper would kick things off for the Red Wings in the first, getting his 10th goal of the year, assisted by Lucas Raymond. 3 minutes and 11 seconds of the first. Alex DeBrincat would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 26th of the season on the power play from Larkin and Patrick Kane. 4:29 of the first. Patrick Kane would get on the goal score sheet himself, getting his 13th of the year on the power play from Seider and Lucas Raymond. 5 minutes and 6 seconds. They managed to put 3 goals in the first 5 minutes. Pretty impressive. Ryan Strome would finally get the Ducks on the board, 8:24 of the first, getting his 8th of the year from Troy Terry and Frank Petrano. Michael Rasmussen would increase the lead to 3 again, getting his 9th of the year on the power play from JT Compher and Eric Gustafson, 2:14 of the second period. Cutter Gauthier would get his 10th of the season, cutting the lead in half, assisted by Lacombe and McTavish, 7:04 of the second period. The Ducks were trailing 4-2 at that point. Colin Zellweger would score with 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go, cutting the lead to 4-3, getting his 5th of the year from Leo Carlson and Fabry. And then, with just 53 seconds to go, Cutter Gauthier would get his second goal of the game, his 11th of the season, unassisted, tying the game up at 4 with 53 seconds to go. So it looks like the Red Wings were going to blow this game. They would, however, come away with the overtime winner with exactly 1 minute to go. Kane would get his second goal of the game, his 14th of the season, assisted by Casper. So the Red Wings almost blew this game, but they would get the game-winning goal. So 5-4 would be the final score. All right, now we're off to Tampa, as you had the Lightning playing host to the Seattle Kraken. Brandon Hagel would kick things off in the second period. They were shorthanded, getting his 27th of the year from Ryan McDonough and Lilleberg, 9:27 of the second period. Nikita Kucherov would increase the lead to 2-0, 11:15 of the third, getting his 26th goal of the season, assisted by Braden Point. Luke Glendening would increase the lead to 3-0, 12:58 of the third, getting his 4th of the year from Atkinson and Easimont. So Tampa Bay had a 3-0 lead in the third. Shane Wright would finally get the Seattle Kraken on the board, 15:24 of the third, getting his 13th of the season from Montour and Mahura. Seattle would pull their goalie. Unfortunately, they were not able to tie it up. Nick Paul would get the empty net goal, his 17th of the season from Hagel and Sorelli. Lightning would win 4-1. All right, now we're off to St. Louis as the Blues played host to the Colorado Avalanche. Devin Taves would kick things off for the Avalanche in the first, getting his 7th goal of the year, assisted by Makar and Lehkonen, 7:49 of the opening frame. The captain, Braden Shen, would tie the game up at 1, getting his 12th goal of the year from Kai Rue and Justin Falk, 10:45 of the second. Colton Parayko would end up getting the game-winning goal, 14:13 of the second, getting his 13th of the year, assisted by Bushnevich and Robert Thomas. In the third, Dylan Holloway would increase the lead to 3-1 with 10 seconds to go, getting his 17th of the year from Falk and Kai Rue. So the St. Louis would win 3-1. The Nashville Predators played host to the New Jersey Devils. Andre Palat would kick things off in the first, getting his 13th of the year from Luke Hughes and Dougie Hamilton, 13:45 of the opening frame. Dougie Hamilton would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 9th of the year from Heischer and Bratt, 9:14 of the second period. Seamus Casey would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 4th goal of the year from Luke Hughes and his brother Jack, 14:28 of the second period. In the third, Stefan Nason would increase the lead to 4-0, getting a power play goal, his 19th of the year, assisted by Heischer and Bratt, 5:06 of the third. Thomas Tatar would increase the lead to 5-0, getting his 6th goal of the year from Heischer, 9:27 of the third. So the Devils would go into Nashville and shut them out 5-0. All right, an original 6 matchup took place in Chicago as we had the Blackhawks playing host to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Late in the first, and I mean really late in the first, with just 11 seconds to go, Teuvo Teravainen would break the tie, getting his 13th goal of the season on the power play from Bertuzzi and Donato. In the second period, Nicholas Robertson would tie the game up at 1, getting his 9th goal of the year on the power play from Max Domi and McMahon, 7:09 of the middle frame. Jake McCabe would give the Leafs a 2-1 lead, 9:45 of the second, getting his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Tanev and Austin Matthews. Nicholas Robertson would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 10th of the year from Domi and Lawrence, 19:45 of the second period, increasing the lead to 3-0. So Chicago had a 1-0 lead in the first. The Leafs got 3 goals in the second, so the Leafs led 3-1. But not so quick, as Kurashev would cut into the lead, getting his 5th goal of the year from Nazar and Bertuzzi with 7 seconds to go. So we had a 3-2 lead heading into the third. Chris Tanev would increase the lead to 4-2, getting his 2nd goal of the season from McCabe and David Kampf. 12:07 of the third, increasing the lead to 4-2. And just like a lot of teams, they were down by multiple goals. You're going to pull your goalie, try to get a tie. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as Pontus Holmberg, would get the empty net goal, his 5th of the year from Nylander and Tavares. 18:28 of the third, so the Toronto Maple Leafs would win 5-2. All right, now we're off to Long Island, as the New York Islanders, quite fitting, took on the Dallas Stars. Sam Steele would kick things off for Dallas in the first, getting his 5th goal of the year from Bach and Ceci, 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the first. Pierre Engvall would tie the game up in the second, getting his 4th goal of the year from McLean and Gatcomb, 3:44 of the middle frame. Staying in the second, Jason Robertson would give Dallas their 2nd lead of the night, his 21st goal of the season from Hintz and Bork, 8:48 of the second. Kyle Palmieri would tie the game up 8:55 of the second, getting his 7th goal of the year from D'Angelo and Brock Nelson. Jason Robinson would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 22nd on the season, a power play goal from Hintz and Matt Duchene, 15:53 of the middle frame. He would get a hat trick, Jason Robinson getting his 3rd goal of the game, his 23rd of the year, on a power play from Wyatt Johnston and Matt Duchene. With 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the middle frame, Dallas had a 4-2 lead. In the third, Anthony Duclair would cut into the deficit, getting his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Bo Horvat, 9:17 of the third. Unfortunately, the Islanders were not able to tie it up, so Dallas would go in to New York and get a 4-3 win. All right, now we're off to Calgary as the Flames played host to the San Jose Sharks, who were on a very long road trip, to say the least. Macklin Celebrini would kick things off for the Sharks in the first, getting his 18th of the season from Tyler Toffoli and Wellman, 3:41 of the opening period. Nazem Kadri would tie the game up at 1, getting his 20th goal of the year on the power play from Frost and Uyghur, 7:27 of the first. Kevin Rooney would give the Flames their first lead of the night, getting his 4th goal of the season from Lomberg and Pospel, 3:35 of the second period. Tyler Toffoli, a former Flame, would tie the game up at 2, getting his 21st goal of the season from Ekblad and Mukhamudulin, if I even said that name correctly, 1:54 of the third. Joel Hanley would get his 1st goal of the season. I'm not sure if he scored last year with the Flames, but he got his 1st goal this year with the Flames. It would end up being the game-winning goal from Huberdeau and Nazem Kadri, 13:28 of the third. So the Flames would win 3-2. And the last game from Sunday took place in Utah, as we had the Utah Hockey Club playing host to the Vancouver Canucks. There was no scoring in the first. Jake DeBrusk would break the tie in the second, getting his 21st of the year from Pedersen and Pius Suter, I believe. 1 minute and 43 seconds of the second period. Logan Cooley would tie it not too long after that, getting his 16th of the year from Marino and Clayton Keller, 3:51 of the second. Late in the third, with just under 6 minutes to go, Dylan Guenther would get the game-winning goal, his 21st of the season, on the power play from Schmaltz and Clayton Keller, 14:07 of the third, so Utah would win against the Canucks. So I got some time to kill. I'm only at the 14-minute mark or 15-minute mark of the video, so I might as well see if I can get Monday's review in as well. Just 2 games, so this shouldn't take too long. The Winnipeg Jets played host to the San Jose Sharks, who played back-to-back nights. William Ekblad would break the tie in the first period, getting his 12th goal of the season on the power play from Celebrini and Will Smith, 15:07 of the first. Josh Morrissey would tie the game up late in the third with just 26 seconds to go, getting his 8th goal of the season. So Winnipeg was guaranteed to get at least a point when San Jose was looking like they may escape with a win. And just 1:33 in the overtime, Mark Scheifele would get the game-winning goal, his 32nd of the season, from Ehlers and Kyle Connor. So the Jets would come back after losing for 59 minutes and like 30 seconds of the game and then they came back to win it in overtime. So they're very effective, to say the least. A very good team. All right, the next one took place in the Pacific Division as the Los Angeles Kings played host to the Vegas Golden Knights. Trevor Moore would break the tie 10.5 minutes into the first, getting his 9th goal of the season on the power play, assisted by Byfield and Spence. Braden McNabb would tie the game up in the second, getting his 4th goal of the year from Thomas Hertl and Korchek, 10:26 of the second period. Mark Stone would give Vegas their first lead of the game, his 15th of the season from Hanifin and Howden, 16:41 of the second period. Early in the third, Trevor Moore would tie the game up at 2, getting his 2nd goal of the game, his 10th of the year from Fogle and Darcy Kempfer, who picked up his first assist as a goalie, 42 seconds into the third. Warren Fogle would get his 15th of the season from Byfield, giving LA their first lead of the night, I believe, maybe their second. Either way, it ended up being the game-winning goal, 8:31 of the third. Joel Edmondson would double up 4-2, getting his 5th goal of the year from Kempe and Byfield, 15:28 of the third. Kevin Fiala would increase the lead to 5-2 with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go on the clock, giving the Kings a 5-2 lead, and that would be the final, 5-2. All right, I got about 13.5 minutes, so we'll see how many games were on Tuesday. So I'll do a quick little count. So I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 12 games. I'll see if I can do 12 games and the standings in about 13 minutes. So the Montreal Canadiens played host to the Carolina Hurricanes. Uri Slafkovsky would kick things off for Montreal in the first, getting his 10th goal of the year from Struble and Nick Suzuki, 8:05 of the first. Staying in the first, Patrick Laine would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 14th of the year, assisted by Alex Carrier and Alex Newhook. Nick Suzuki would get his 2nd goal of the game, I believe. First goal of the game, I apologize. His 16th of the season on the power play from Patrick Laine and Cole Caulfield, 10:04 of the second frame. Lane Hudson would get his 4th goal of the season on the power play from Patrick Laine and Nick Suzuki, 10:22 of the third. So the Canadiens would shut out the Hurricanes. They won 2 games in a row. Woo! An original 6 matchup took place in Boston, as we had 2 teams that are rivals, to say the least, as the Boston Bruins played host to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just 29 seconds into the opening frame, David Pastrnak would get everybody off their seats, breaking the tie just 29 seconds into the game, getting his 29th of the year from Lohrei and Pavel Zacha. Brad Marchand would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 21st of the season on the power play from Pastrnak and Lohrei, with 6 minutes to go in the first. In the second, Morgan Geekie would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 19th goal of the year on the power play from Lindholm and Brad Marchand. So the Bruins had a 3-0 lead halfway through the game. Morgan Riley would finally get the Leafs on the board, 13:52 of the second period, getting his 7th of the year from Matthew Knies and Ekman Larsson. Mitch Marner would score just 59 seconds into the third, cutting the lead to 3-2, getting his 17th of the year on the power play from Tavares and Morgan Riley. Nicholas Robertson would tie the game up at 3, getting his 11th goal of the year from Morgan Riley and Anthony Stolarz, who got his first assist as a goalie, 6 minutes and 40 seconds into the third. Overtime would be necessary in this one. Oh, I apologize. I missed 2 more goals. David Pastrnak would break the tie, 10:33 of the third, getting his 30th of the season, his 2nd goal of the game. And then Pontus Holmberg scored with 46 seconds to go. There we go. Tying the game up at 4, getting his 6th goal of the year from Nick Robertson and Oliver Ekman Larsson. We would need overtime to settle this one, and Mitch Marner would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 18th of the season from Austin Matthews and Morgan Riley. And that goal happened with 52 seconds to go in the game. So quite a thrilling end and game, to say the least, between another classic. All right, now we're off to Buffalo as the Sabres played host to the Anaheim Ducks. Mason McTavish would kick things off for Anaheim in the first, getting his 14th goal of the year on the power play from Lacombe and Troy Terry, 3:05 of the first. Leo Carlson would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 11th goal of the season on the power play from Mintyukov and Lundstrom, 4:58 of the second. J.J. Peterka would get Buffalo on the board a minute 56 into the third period, his 16th of the season from Dylan Cousins and Owen Power. Alex Tuch would tie the game up at 2, getting his 20th goal of the year, assisted by Dylan Cousins, 5:34 of the third. Henry Yokinaharu, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the J's are silent, or both the J's are silent, I should say. Would break the tie, 9:31 of the third, getting the game-winning goal for Buffalo, his third of the year from Quinn and Cousins. So the Sabres would hang on to win 3-2. A battle of Pennsylvania as the Philadelphia Flyers played host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Rasmus Ristolainen would break the tie in the first, getting his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Zamula and Michkov, 3:56 of the first. No Cates would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 11th goal of the year, assisted by Brinks and Pelletier, 12:19 of the first. Philip Tomasino would put Pittsburgh on the board, 6:09 of the second period, getting his 8th goal of the year from Matt Bunting and Chris Letang. Tyson Forster would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his 16th of the year from Drysdale and Brink, 11:55 of the second period. Noah Cates would score, increasing the lead to 4-1, getting his 12th of the year from Brink and Forster. With 1 minute and 5 seconds to go on the clock, the Flyers had a 4-1 lead heading into the third. Oh, just kidding. They had a 5-1 lead heading into the third. Bobby Brink would score, getting his 8th of the year from Cates and Forster, with 55 seconds to go in the second. There we go. There was 1 goal in the third, and that was by Owen Tippett. He got his 17th of the year from Sean Couturier and Michkov, 6:06 of the third. So the Flyers would win this battle of Pennsylvania. All right, now we're off to the nation's capital as the Washington Capitals played host to the Calgary Flames. Martin Pospisil would give Calgary a 1-0 lead, getting his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Solovyok and Lomberg, 11:47 of the first. Try saying that name 3 times or 5 times fast. Matt Coronado would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 15th of the year from Kevin Ball, 16:42 of the first period. The Flames had a 2-0 lead. We were to jump all the way ahead to the third period, 4:52 of the third. The Caps would finally get on the board, courtesy of Alex Ovechkin, who's still on pace for that goals record. Would get a power play goal from John Carlson and Dylan Strome, cutting the lead to 2-1. Jonathan Huberdeau would increase the lead to 3-2, 15:32 of the third, getting his 22nd goal of the season, assisted by Nazem Kadri. And that's where the goals would stop. The Flames would go into Washington and win 3-1. The Columbus Blue Jackets played host to the Dallas Stars. Kirill Marchenko would put the Blue Jackets on the board just 30 seconds into the game, getting his 22nd goal of the season, assisted by Provorov and Voronikov. Mathieu Olivier would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 11th goal of the year from Severson and Aston Reese, 4:37 of the first period. 5 minutes after that, Jamie Benn would put Dallas on the board, getting his 15th goal of the season, assisted by Wyatt Johnston and Tom Harley. Kirill Marchenko would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his 23rd goal of the year, assisted by Fantilli, 1 minute and 11 seconds of the second period. Ivan Provorov would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 7th goal of the year, assisted by Johnson and Jenner, 8:46 of the second period. Rupe Hintz would cut into the lead, getting his 23rd goal of the season from Granlund and Jason Robertson, 9:38 of the second. Jason Robertson would cut into the lead to 4-3, getting his 24th goal of the season, assisted by Michael Granlund, 13:57 of the second period. James Van Riemsdyk would bring the lead back up to 2, getting his 12th goal of the year, assisted by Sean Corrali, 2:37 of the third period. Marvik Bork would score with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go, cut in the lead to 5-4, getting his 9th goal of the year, assisted by Dadonov and Stankoven. Dallas would pull their goalie. Unfortunately, they were not able to tie it up. Columbus would regain that 2-goal lead. For Fantilli, that'd be his 17th goal of the season, assisted by Voronikov and Marchenko. So that goal happened with 32 seconds to go in the game. The Blue Jackets would win 6-4. All right, now we're off to Tampa as the Lightning played host to the Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl would score his league leading 43rd goal of the season on the power play from Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard, 11:53 of the first. Michael Eyssimont would score, tying the game up at 1, getting his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Goncalves, 13:11 of the first period. Brandon Hagel would break the tie just 29 seconds into the second, getting his 28th goal of the season, assisted by Girgensons and Cirelli. Victor Hedman would increase the lead to 3-1, getting a power play goal, 5:38 of the second period, his 9th of the season from Braden Point and Kucherov. Nick Paul would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 18th goal of the season from Jake Gensel and Nikita Kucherov, 7:23 of the third period. So the Lightning would win 4-1, and the Oilers are starting to reel, losing 3 straight games, coming out of the Four Nations final tournament. Okay, I got about 25 minutes to go. I'll see if I can wrap this up. A Battle of New York, as the Islanders played host to the New York Rangers. Urho Vakanainen would kick things off for the Rangers in the first, getting his 2nd goal of the season from Riley Smith, 6:22 of the first. Alexander Romanov would tie the game up at 1, getting his 3rd goal of the year from D'Angelo and Brock Nelson, 8:19 of the first period. Johnny Brodzinski would break the tie in the first, getting his 5th goal of the season from Schneider and Vakanainen, 12:39 of the first period. With 48 seconds to go, Brodzinski would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 6th of the season from Fox and Lindgren, increasing the lead to 3-1. In the second period, JT Miller would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 14th goal of the year from Zibanejad and Vakanainen, 11:21 of the second period. Matt Rempe would increase the lead to 5-1, getting his 2nd goal of the season from Brodzinski and Ryan Lindgren, and that goal happened with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the second. There was no scoring the rest of the game, so 5-1 would be the final. All right, now we're off to Missouri, as we have the St. Louis Blues playing host to the Seattle Kraken. Jordan Kyrou would kick things off for the Blues in the first, getting his 24th goal of the season from Fowler and Parayko, 8:04 of the first period. Oscar Sundqvist would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 5th goal of the season on the power play from Buchnevich and Robert Thomas, 12:48 of the first. Robert Thomas would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 16th of the season from Neighbors and Broberg, 5:10 of the second period, increasing the lead to 3-0. Zach Bolduc would increase the lead to 4-0, getting his 7th goal of the season from Sundqvist and Justin Falk, 8:23 of the second, increasing the lead to 4-0. Cam Fowler would make it 5-0, 9:45 in the second, getting his 7th goal of the season from Dylan Holloway and Braden Shen. Jake Neighbors would increase the lead to 6-0, getting his 14th of the year from Fowler and Parayko, 11:55 of the second period. Zach Bolduc would increase the lead to 7-0. 20 seconds into the third, getting his 8th of the year from Matthew Joseph and Oscar Sundqvist. Seattle would finally get on the board 5 minutes and 13 seconds into the third from Vince Dunn, unassisted, his 11th goal of the year. Jaden Schwartz would score against his former team, cutting the lead to 5, a little too late. For Schwartz, that'd be his 19th goal of the year from Kakko and Adam Larson, 12:09 of the third. So the Blues, despite giving up the last 2 goals, would still win 7-2. Okay, got 1, 2, 3 more games. Okay, you know what? I'll just do this. 4-1 against the Predators. The Red Wings won 3-2 over the Wild, and the Utah Hockey Club won 2-1 over the Blackhawks. I think my thing might cut off here pretty soon, so I want to try and get this all in one video. So the wild card standings look like this. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in first place with 74 points. The Florida Panthers are in second place with 73 points. The Tampa Bay Lightning are in third place with 70 points. The Washington Capitals are in first place in the Metropolitan Division with 84 points. Both New Jersey and Carolina have 70 points apiece, but because Carolina has one more win, they're in second place. The 2 teams in the wild card are the Detroit Red Wings. They have 66 points, 4 points behind Tampa. And the Blue Jackets have 64 points. They're 6 points behind Jersey, but they're in the 2 wildcard spots as we speak. The rest of the East looks like this. So we have the Ottawa Senators. They're 2 points out of a playoff spot. The Rangers, the Bruins all have 62 points as well. Montreal Canadiens are 5 points back out of a playoff spot. They have the same amount of points as Philly, but one more win. The Islanders are 7 points out of a playoff spot. The Penguins are 9 points out of a playoff spot. And the Sabres are a long shot. They're 11 points out of a playoff spot in last place in the Eastern Conference. Okay, on the west side, we have the Winnipeg Jets. They have 85 points, leading the Central Division. Dallas is 9 points behind them. They have 76. Minnesota's in third place. They have 72 points, 4 points behind Dallas. In the Pacific Division, we have the Vegas Golden Knights. They have 74 points. The Edmonton Oilers are 2 points behind them. And had they won 3 games, they'd be 2 points ahead of Vegas. So it goes to show, or they'd be 4 points ahead of Vegas. It just goes to show that if you go on a losing streak, it can definitely hurt you. So like I said, the Oilers are 2 points behind Vegas. LA is sitting in third place. They're 3 points behind Edmonton now, so I'm sure they're trying to chase for that second spot. The 2 teams in the wild card, 1 apiece from the Central and Pacific Division, respectively. The Avalanche have 68 points. The Flames are 4 points behind them. They have 64. And the rest of the Western Conference looks like this. Vancouver's 1 point behind Calgary. Utah has 61 points, so they're close. They are 3 points behind Calgary for that last playoff spot. The St. Louis Blues are 4 points behind Calgary, so they could be in the mix as well. Anaheim, they have 57. They're 7 points back. The Seattle Kraken are 10 points back. Nashville, a very miserable season. They're 27 points, or they're 17 points back of Calgary. Chicago has 41 points, and the San Jose Sharks, they have 38 points for the worst record in the Western Conference. Okay, so I know I had to hurry up those last couple of games, but I'm pretty sure like time's a ticking and my video will cut off at a certain point. So as always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, and as always, take care.